I'm quite surprised by how bad the form is of a very popular fitness YouTuber. This guy called or channel called Kinobody. He's giving tips and advice on how to do shoulder press, how to get big shoulders, and I was just like really bad form this guy's got. So he's talking about. So here he's doing sitting dumbbell shoulder press, and two things. One, his range of motion is pretty poor. The form seems to be pretty poor. Form and range of motion are kind of connected, but he also seems to have an imbalance which he isn't correcting in this at all. So the first one is just simple sitting shoulder press. That should be easy. My tips for that is bring it down until the dumbbells touch your shoulders. That's beep and then up. Touch your shoulders up. That gets more difficult when you've got bigger weights because the bigger weights come further out like that. But generally, if you're going up to 40, 50 kilograms, you can still have your arm vertical position and it'll still just be tapping your shoulders and going straight up there. There shouldn't be a problem here. But this guy, wow, I'll put it in slow motion. Let's go. Half speed. He's really one arm down, one arm not so down, and just it involves starting to cheat. So when you get to your near maximal efforts, if you're not having a consistent level that you bring your weights down to, so for example, touching your shoulders, or same with the bench press, if you don't bring it down to just touch your bench press, you can just start cheating more. You can start going from straight up to, yeah, that was a shoulder press. Yeah, and then you look like one of these people in the gym that there's like comedy videos of people doing tiny range of motions. There are things called partial reps, but he's not talking about partial reps here. But it looks like it should be a partial rep. So this is a lightweight for him, and he doesn't bring them all the way down. He does get his arm to 90 degrees, which is fine, but you're not really, like, the shoulder doesn't stop there. Like, just going to there isn't the end of your shoulder movement. Your shoulder goes all the way down to here. So going from there to there is only half the movement. Why not bring it down until you're squeezing your lats together, or your traps together at the back? But with him, you can see he's got one that comes down to his ear, another one that doesn't. Let's see. Oh, that was probably his closest. Oh, and then quick cut, quick cut. But here he's going a little bit heavier, but you can see, one, he's really leaning back the way on this. It's starting to become a bit more of an upper chest workout here. But there's definite an imbalance going on there. Loving the face as well. That's your exercise face. So he's at least going to lock out, but in the weight, it's only whenever he decides to put the weights down does he actually bring them the full range of motion. Okay, so here we're talking about his heavy weight. So he's got a pretty darn heavy weight here. Proper respect to that. But when you get heavier, if you're not doing a good range of motion, if you're not having good form of making sure you bring it down to the right place, you start cheating. And let's look at this. Look at the distance between the weight and the shoulder. That is a half rep. That's a half rep. That's the whole rep. So effectively what he's doing is just giving the shoulder half of the movement. The tricep still has to do its part from there to there when it's up there. But he's just not really working. The shoulder can come all the way down to here. Get it to there, where I would have the actual handlebar bits coming down, like down to your chin area. But yeah, his left and his right hand really imbalanced. And so again, if you do have an imbalance like that, that's absolutely fine. Lots of people have imbalances there. And with that, you try and correct it by having some sort of mechanism where you know that you're doing the right range of motion. So in other words, he's just kind of looking in the mirror and going, yeah, they've got to about the right place. I think I'll push it back up. If you bring it to touching your shoulders, then that's you at least know you've done it the right distance every single time. There, that was a little bit lower, but still not quite all the way there. But yeah, it doesn't even get past his ears. So I would consider these to be half reps that he's doing there. And look at the height difference. That's not a difference in speed or strength. That is just really bad form. One is much lower down than the other. Yeah, definitely. I would call them half reps for each one of those going on there. gotta have a good face when doing Max's reps. And okay, so that's his first one. So I say pure range of motion, doing their half reps, if that's what you want to call it, but heavyweights. Doing heavyweights for half reps is fine, but admit that is a half rep. Okay, so now and then even here, so here he's talking about going on a lighter weight, but he's still look at the difference. His form gets worse as he goes along. Let's see if I got. Look at the difference there. That one is really pointing down towards the floor. That one's pointing up towards the sky. That's some pretty bad angles there. And he's not. Did he even go to lockout there? So he's not even going to lockout. So it's really quarter range of motions there. Now his next one that he talks about is the Arnold press. Arnold press, a good exercise, works more parts of the shoulder potentially, but what he does isn't an Arnold press. He's literally just doing a dumbbell shoulder press, but start having his hands there, and then he brings them to the side and then goes up. An Arnold press is meant to be a kind of a dynamic movement where you start from here, you finish up there, but it's a smooth movement halfway all the way through. He's really just kind of going from here, opening, then up. So open, like his shoulders do not go up the way at all from when the palms are meant to, additionally the palms, okay, it doesn't really matter, it's minor degrees, but usually the idea is you have your palms facing you at the front, and at the end they're facing away from you at the top. But his hands are kind of neutral grip level here. So again, and then so his shoulders have not moved all. Wait, can we go frame? His shoulders have not moved up one bit. His elbows stay almost exactly the same position as he brings it round to the back. And you're not bringing any tension to the back. It's not like you have a rear deck pull-out machine that you're doing there. He's literally just holding it there, bringing it there, then going up. So yeah, that's his idea of an Arnold press. He's turned it into kind of two exercises, and it's still just a shoulder press. And he's kind of doing it with a neutral grip rather than a fully inverted grip. Is that all that he shows you? That was it. Yeah. Not the best form I've ever seen. Definitely not the best range of motion I've ever seen either. Here I've got my own example from back in the day when I had a gym and I had some dumbbells to use. See, bring down, just touch your shoulders, up. I feel admit I've got some imbalances there, some strength and some speed differences in each arm and in each shoulder. But you can see, trying to keep the technique right, up, get them just down, touch the shoulders, boom, then back up. That's all that you need to do. That's your range of motion. That's what you're meant to have. Here, I think this might have been 42 kilograms. Nope, 38. There, and then down, just touch the shoulders. And then oh, did I miss it? No, yeah, touch the shoulder for each one. That, I would say, is good range of motion and good form. Touching the shoulders, just a little tap each time. That's what you should do.